Hi, Hamna. How you there?
Yes, Aramide, I am. Okay, so
Yeah, I've started recording.
okay, thank you, Aramide. Okay, so Assalamu alaikum and greetings to all my fellows from Pakistan and Nigeria. So, welcome you all in today's event. So, let me first introduce myself. Okay, let me share the screen first. Is my screen visible?
Yes, I can see your screen, Hamna.
Okay, so Assalamu alaikum and greetings to all my fellows. My name is Hamna Khalil, and I'm an undergraduate student studying in software engineering. And I'm also a Beta Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador, representing Royal Cyber Incorporation as their campus ambassador and Zindagi Prize as their digital media lead. So, additionally, I have also served as an ambassador at IEEE and worked as a media manager for GDSC and Zikub International. So, today I'm very excited to introduce my co host. My co host is Aramide Adibasin, who is an undergraduate student majoring in mathematics. She's a data scientist with a keen interest in healthcare sector. So she's also an Alpha Microsoft Learn ambassador and also an ambassador for the Women in Data Science community in Nigeria. She holds the position of data science and machine learning co-lead at GDSC. So our today's session will focus on data pre-processing, specifically regarding the techniques for cleaning and preparing data using Python. So, throughout this session, we will be working with Visual Studio Code and will utilize various extensions like Jupyter Notebook and Python to clean and prepare our data sets for the machine learning models. So overall, the session will last for 40 to 45 minutes, and there will be a quiz at the end of the event that would be consisting of 10 MCQs. So the winner or the first two winners will be awarded with the LinkedIn Premium voucher. So stay engaged and listen attentively to all the insights that will be shared by my co-host Aramide Adibasin. So that's all my part. So now over to you, Aramide, and I wish you a very successful event.
All right, thank you so much, Amna. Can we all hear me? Good afternoon from Nigeria and good evening from Pakistan. Good evening to everyone. My name is Aramide, just as Amna has introduced. And to avoid further delay, I'll just be going directly to what I've prepared for today's section. So for this event, basically, it's tagged data preprocessing, clean and prepared data. Please, if you can hear me, kindly signify so I know you can all hear me.
Yes, we can hear you, Aramide.
All right, thank you so much, Amna. So I'll be sharing my screen shortly. Um, okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can.
All right, thank you. Okay, so um, the process of the events today basically is data preprocessing, clean and prepare data. But before we go to the hands-on section on how to clean and prepare our data, firstly, I would like to explain how to use Jupyter Notebook in Visual Studio Code. Okay, so I know for beginners, majorly, most people use their Jupyter Notebook on Anaconda, just use your Jupyter Notebook. But I find it's very easy to use Jupyter Notebook on Visual Studio Code. And I believe most professionals in data field also use their Jupyter Notebook in Visual Studio Code. So I'll be walking us through on how to use Jupyter Notebook in Visual Studio Code. So the first thing you need to do is download and install the latest version of Visual Studio Code. And of course, the slides will be shared after the section for anybody that needs it. Then afterwards, the next thing you need to do is once you have installed your Visual Studio Code, you need to install the Python extension on, you need to install the Python extension. So open Jupyter Notebook in VS Code. So to do so, you will see this is, I have attached an image, and the highlighted part you see is called an extension. So once you get to the extension, you just click on it and search for Python. So you get different Python extension here. And just as you've seen the one that is highlighted here, you just click on install and you get your Python extension installed on Microsoft, on Visual Studio Code, yeah, VS Code. And the next thing is, so the next thing to do is also download the extension, Jupyter Notebook extension. So you've downloaded your Python extension, and still in the same extension tab, just search for Jupyter Notebook, just as displayed in the attached image. Once you search for Jupyter, you get also different extensions there, and just download the first one and click on install. Then you have it installed on on your VS Code. Then the next thing you need to do is, so now that you have Jupyter on VS Code, it is time to launch the extension. So you go to the command palette and you just click on Control Shift P, or if you're using a Mac, you can just type Command Shift P and search for Jupyter Notebook. So once you do that, it will automatically create a new blank notebook for you, and you can start a new file. You have a new file of a new notebook, and you are ready to, I'm coming. Okay, yeah. Then the next thing to do is you get something like this. Once you click on the Control Shift P, then this is what you get displayed, a new Jupyter Notebook file. As you all know, I believe um majority, even if you're not beginners, but then we all know that our notebook has the .ipynb file, right? The Jupyter Notebook. So once you do the previous instruction, which is clicking, pressing Control Shift plus P, then the next thing
Aramide?
you get is, yes, can you hear me?
Yes, sorry to disturb. Aramide, someone has said in chat box that please explain things slowly.
Oh, okay, all right, okay, all right. I'm so sorry. I'll just go back a little bit. Okay. So let me just go right from the VS Code again. Please let me know if I'm too fast. So the first thing you have to do to use Jupyter Notebook on VS Code is to download the latest version of Visual Studio Code IDE. So I've attached the link to the latest version if you want to download. So the slides will be shared after the section. And afterwards, the next thing you need to do is to install the extension Python on your VS Code. And how do you do that? Once you load your VS Code, once you've installed it and you've loaded it, you see these tabs here. You see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You see different tabs here. Then go to the one that has this 2 is the extension tab. Then you click on it and you see a search bar. So just type in Python. And once you type in Python, you get different extensions. So you just install the very first one that you're seeing here, the very first one that is highlighted. So you just click on it and you install. So automatically that has installed the Python extension. And the next thing you need to do is also install the Jupyter Notebook extension. So you're still on the extension tab, just erase the Python and type in Jupyter. And once you do that, you're going to get series of Jupyter Notebook extensions, and you just have to click on the first one and install it as well. And the next thing you need to do after installing the Jupyter Notebook extension and the Python extension, just press Ctrl Shift P, and once you do that, it will bring out this create new Jupyter Notebook. And once you do that, the next page you'll be getting is this page that is displayed here. So for you to, since you know that for us to know that it is a Jupyter Notebook file, it is going to be handled with the .ipynb. So for data professionals or data beginners that we have here, I'm sure that we all know that once the notebook ends with .ipynb, it is a Jupyter Notebook file. So automatically you've been able to create your Jupyter Notebook file. So the next thing you need to do is to select a kernel. So if you see the highlighted parts here that has Python 3.11.2, so normally what you will see there is select kernel, right? So once you just do that, what you do is you click on that select kernel and you pick the Python environments that you want to use. So because you've downloaded the Python extension, so it will automatically connect you with the latest Python version that you have there. So in this case of what I have on my slide is Python 3.11.2. And after that, what you just need to do is type in your whatever, maybe in this case, your print statement, hello world, and you use shift enter, then it would run and you are good to go. So you can also click on this play button here. I don't know if you can see this play button here. It would also run if you don't want to use the shift dot enter. So another thing that I would like to add is that if you notice in this IPYNB file, look at if you see this logo, it is not your Jupyter Notebook logo. So for us to have a very visually appealing files, so you can also download the VS Code icon just as I've typed there. So to get the logo of the file tab you're working on, you can download VS Code icon extensions from the extension tab. And now you're ready to use Jupyter Notebook. So once you download the VS Code extensions, so you're going to be, for every file you're working on, you're going to be having your Jupyter Note, the logo of the file. For example, now you're using the .ipynb file, you get your Jupyter Notebook logo instead of this logo you're seeing here. And if you are using the .py extension, maybe you're working on a Python file with the .py, you're going to be getting the Python logo just at the just where the logo here is. And that's just all you need to do to start using Jupyter Notebook on VS Code. So that is all for the presentation slides. And this is the next thing is to move on to the hands-on section. So before we move on to the hands-on section, I don't know if there is any question on the presentation slides that's here. Please, Amna, kindly help me check if there is any question before I move on.
No, there is no question in the chat box. So, guys, if there is any question, do share in the chat box.
Okay, thank you so much. So I'm going to continue. So this is, I'm currently using GitHub Codespace for today's hands-on section. So GitHub Codespace is interface is just like your Visual Studio Code environment. So just like I said here, if you want to download any extensions, just click on this extensions tab just here. As you can see, then you're going to type in whatever extensions you want to download, just as displayed here. Okay, as you can see, the Python extension, but because I already have it installed here, so I don't have to install it again. So I'm going to be moving right ahead to what I have for today's section. So today's section is data cleaning and preparation, which can also be said as transformation. So what exactly do it, what's the purpose of data cleaning? So the introduction I have here is data is messy in the real world, and it is very important to know the best practices in handling them. The event is focused on teaching participants on the techniques of how to handle missing values by implementing and discussing the pros and cons of each approach. So basically, what we'll be doing today is the best practice in how to how to clean your data in terms of handling the missing data, how to handle numerical and categorical data, and so on. So I have a data set that I'll be using here. It's a heart disease data set. So yeah, I'll just be coding along while I explain what I'm doing. So the first thing to do is I'm going to be importing my libraries that I'll be needing for this section today. Of course, I'm going to be needing my pandas library. I'll also be needing my NumPy. Then I'm going to be needing my matplotlib library. And of course, my Seaborn library for visualization. Okay, so because I know we might have beginners on this call, I'm just basically going to talk about what each library does. So Pandas is a library that data scientists use in trying to manipulate data. It is used for data manipulation. So you have a data set and you want to maybe group some columns together, just manipulate your data and do a lot of things on your data. Then the pandas is the library to go to. And the NumPy library is the library that is used for numerical computations. So this is what the NumPy library is used for. And the matplotlib library is a library that is used for visualization. So you want to plot maybe your bar charts, your bar plots, your line plots, and so on. Then you can make use of your matplotlib library, and the same thing for this Seaborn library. So for any data science project you want to work on, the first thing you need to do is I'm coming. Let me just put in my comments. So the first thing you need to do is import the necessary libraries. So once you have your libraries imported, so the next thing to do is to load in the data sets you'll be using. So in this case, I have a data set of heart disease, and this is the data set we'll be using for today's section. So to load in my data set, I'm going to be using my pandas, which is pd.readcsv, and the name of my data set, which is heart disease. And the .ed method that I've called here is used to display the first 5 rows of the data set. So you want, after loading in your data set, which is the heart disease data set, it is important to view the data set. So in this case, I use the .ed method to view the first 5. So I'm just going to comment here. It is used to view the first 5 rows. The first 5 rows of the data sets. And aside from the .ed, I can also use and I can also put in, maybe let's say I want to view the first 10 rows. I can just put in the 10 and shift enter. Then I have the first 10 rows displayed. But what the .ed function does normally is just to display the first 5 rows of the data set. So the next thing I need to do is I need to check, I have this data set, right? So I need to check the number of columns that I have and the number of rows that I have. And to do that, I'll have to use the .shape method. So the .shape method, basically, it is used to display the number of rows and columns we have in a data set. So I'll just put the comments here. Of rows and columns in a data set. Okay, so that means in this data set we are currently using as the case study, we have 920 rows and 16 columns. So the next thing we are going to be doing now is to check for the data types, right? So I'm going to be using the .info method. So basically what the .info method does is it's going to display a list of all the columns I have in the data sets here, as you can see, and their data type. So I have the ID colon, which is an int data type. Then I also have the age colon, the data set colon. In this case, this CP, I think stands for sorry. So this is an health data set, and I'm coming. Okay, yeah. So this is an health data set, and some of the features that I have here are they are relating to health, because just as the data set is titled heart disease, so this CP here is standing for chest pain type, right? This rest BPC is resting, I think resting blood pressure. Yeah, resting blood pressure. Then we also have the cholesterol and so on. We have, so it is actually a health data, it's a health data set, and most of the features there are health related features, are their health related terms. But then we are not really focusing on the fact that it's health data. We are just trying to learn how we can clean a data set, given to the step-by-step process in cleaning a data set. So now I've used the .info method to display the code, the features, the data type. Now, what is this non-null count? So this non-null count is just basically telling you the columns that does not have a null value. So if you look at this ID column, it has 920 non-null counts. So what it means basically is it has no missing values. It is complete. But if you go further down, you see that this REST BPS has 861 non-null, meaning that it has missing values. The cholesterol also has missing values. So we have several um features here that have missing values, but we can go ahead and just start, start building the model or anything. So we need to learn how to handle these missing values. And one of the way to do that is firstly, okay, another thing, before we start talking about missing values, another thing I would like to show us is how to use the describe method. So basically, the describe method is used to show a summary, the statistic summary of the data set. So in this case, for the numerical features in your data set, you get the count, the mean, the standard deviation, the minimum value, the 25th percentile, 50th percentile, 75th percentile, and the maximum value of each numerical features. But if you want it to display for the um, categorical features that you have in your data set, so what you just need to do is use the include. So once you use the include, you can see here that we have both. We can see here that we have both the um, numerical features and the categorical features on displayed right here, right? But because some of the categorical features don't have a standard deviation, for example, now let's take a look at this fasting blood sugar. This is a categorical data, so it will not have the mean. It will not have. That is why we have NaN here, NaN, not a number, right? So that's why we have it here. But if you just want to limit your summary statistics to the numerical features, all you need to do is just use the df.describe, and you get just the summary statistics of your numerical features in the data set. So now, let's now move on to how to handle missing. So I'm going to be using how to handle missing values. Can you still hear me?
Yes, Aramide, we can.
Yes, we
All
can.
right, thank you. All right, thank you so much. So the next thing is to talk about how to
You're
handle
going
missing
great.
values. So the first thing is we need to check the percentage of the missing values in each column, right? So what we can do is to check the missing values first. We can use data frame dots is null method. So the is null method is used to check for, then you use dot sum method. So it will sum up all the number of missing. So as you can see here, we see that the ID feature does not have a missing value, the age, sex, data set, and this does not have a missing value, but we see that we have missing values in other columns like the rest BP, the cholesterol, fasting blood sugar, and others. So, and another thing we can do is check the percentage of the missing values. And to do that, you just divide by um the length of the data frame, I think. Then you multiply it by 100. Coming. Okay, yeah. So this is the way to get the percentage. So we see that here we have 6%, 3%, 9%, 5%, etc., etc. Right? So basically we have the slope, the CA and the tau just permits me to use these features like that. But these are, like I said, this is an else data set, and I really didn't check all the features named like that. So yeah. So we see that the three here are the ones with the highest number, highest percentage of missing values. So one of the things, one of the ways of, you have several ways of handling missing values. So it's either you drop the rows with the missing values, the column, right? Or you fill in the missing value. So, or you just go ahead like that. Then you use your there are some models that works with missing values like your XGBoost, your LGBM model, and the likes. But in most cases, I prefer handling the missing values. So there are times that you need to probably drop the colons. So, but dropping the colons, you have to be very careful because it is not always advisable to drop the colon. And most times, the columns are very important to your modeling, right? It is a very important column, so you can't just drop it, right? So, but then uh there are times that because you cannot drop the colon, you just have to look for a way to fill in the data set, and you have to be able to fill it because you need to ensure data accuracy, right? And one of the reasons we do data cleaning is for data accuracy. So you don't just fill in with any value just like that. So there are steps to follow in knowing the best method to fill it to fill the missing values in. So but because of the sake of this section, I'm going to be dropping the columns that have more than 30% of missing values. Just look at these features here. The feature with the CA here, it has 66 missing values. I mean, it more than half of the column is a missing value. So the best thing for me to do in this case is just probably drop it. But for this sake of this section, I would just be dropping these three ones that has the highest number of missing values. But it is important that you for whatever project you're working on, you have to be, you have to do more research. So you don't just drop columns anyhow. So yeah, just for the sake of this, I'll be dropping this. So yeah, I'll be naming the colon to drop as just colon to drop, and I'll putting it in a list. So I have the slope, then also have the CA colon and the CHA colon. Oh, sorry. Okay, so to drop the columns, so what I'm going to do now is use the dot drop method. So to drop a row or a column, what you need to do is use the dot drop method. So the dot drop method is basically used to remove rows or columns by specifying label names. So in this case, I've already encoded my sorry, I said encoded. I already created a list for the columns I want to drop, and I've put it in a variable called colon to drop. So in this case, I'm just going to be I'm going to be putting in the color, the variable name, which is colon to drop. Then I'll call the axis. So because I want to drop the column I want to drop is colon, right? I'm going to use axis 1. So if it is row, your axis will be 0. Then the next thing I can do is call the in place function. In place equals true. And that is because I want it to reflect on the data set itself. So after that, then I can just do dot is null dot sum. And here here we notice that the columns are no longer there, right? So we don't have I've I've dropped the slope CA and CHAL colon. So now I only have this colon left. Now this column that I have left, I cannot drop them because their rows are the missing values are not too much. So what I need to do is I need to fill in the missing values for the rest of this column. Now, how do I go about it? So the first thing is I need to check for the data type of each of the columns. Like I need to know the data type of the missing columns. So I'll just use my .info method again to check for the data type. Okay, so we see that the first one with the missing value, which is rest BPS, is a float, which is it means that it is a numerical colon. So how do I then refill this how do I fill the missing values in this data set? So the best thing to do first is to visualize the data set, because like I said earlier, you don't just fill the missing values with just any number. You need to be able to, okay, why are you filling this number, filling the missing values with this color? So in this case, I'm going to be using the box plots. So the box plots would provide visualization. So I'm using the
Aramide?
yes. Can you hear me? Hi,
Yes, I
Hamna.
can.
Okay, do you
Aramide,
have
there's a
do you,
question in the chat box.
okay, please.
Uh,
Wait,
the question is, let me see.
I'll send me here.
What is the purpose of axis and in place?
What is the purpose of what?
Axis and in place.
Oh, okay. I explained earlier. So the thing is, the axis is used to call the is used for to check to call the axis of what you want to drop. So in this case here, axis 1, I'm setting my axis parameter as 1 because 1 is representing colon. I can change it to colon. If I don't want to use 1, I can just use colons, right? So what I'm basically telling it is that these columns that I want to drop, these particular features that I want to drop, they are in columns. So it should search the columns for the features with this particular name and drop it. But because you could either use colons or 1. And if it is for rows, you can use 0 or 1 or rows, right? So in this case, if I'm using rows, then that would be I'm telling the dots method to search for the rows, and if it's come across any name with slope CA, it should drop it. But because I know that these particular features, they are not in the rows axis, they are in the columns axis. So just think axis as your x and y axis in mathematics. You have your x axis and your y axis. So your x axis in that case can be likened to your rows, right? While your y axis can be likened to your columns. So in this case, just think your axis. So when you want to use the drop method, you need to specify the axis so it would know where to search for and what to drop. So in this case, because I want it to drop from the colon, so I'm setting my axis as 1. So for the in place, okay, so let me just show you what will happen if I remove the in place function. So now, oh, I'll have to run it from the beginning again because I've already dropped it and it's telling me that it's no longer there. So just to show what I'm trying to explain, I'm going to run this again. Now, if you look at this, even though I've called the dot drop method, so I'm still checking my missing values. I can still see what I dropped in. I can still see the columns that I've dropped is still showing here. So the dot in place method, basically what it does is that it's more like it's going to I don't know the right word to use, it's going to affect, because it's going to the effect of what you're using is going to affect the data frame itself. So it's not like I'm just dropping just for that particular cell. So if I don't use the dot in place method, the dropping that I've done will not reflect when I start in the original data frame itself. So I need to call the in place method, the in place is it method now, but then the in place method, and set it to true. So once I do that, once I set my in place method as true, so this would make the effects of the drop method that I call reflect on the data frame itself. So let me run all my data. So if you see this now, because I've used the in place methods as true, you see that now the dropping that I did has reflected on the data frame itself. So meaning that the slope CA and the THAL feature that I dropped is no longer reflected in the original data frame itself. So for the person that asked the question, I don't know if I've been able to answer your question. So I'll just go ahead. So if you have any question, just drop it in the chat and Hamna will call my attention to it. Okay, so back to what I was explaining. So I was talking about how to fill in the data, to fill in your missing values in using for numerical features. So in this case, this first thing I said we have to do is to visualize your numerical data colon. And in this case, you have to use I'm using my library Cborn that I've used as SNS, and I'm going to be using the box plots method, right? So here I can see that I see the visual of my the visual representation of the numerical column. So let's call it tiny dots that are here. They are called outliers. And when you have outliers in your data set, you need to be able to handle the outliers, else it would affect the accuracy of your model. You don't just work with your data that has outliers. You need to be able to undo those outliers. So now we notice that our missing column in this particular column, our missing values in this particular column, this particular column has outliers and it has missing values, and we want to fill the missing values. So what do we do? Because it has outliers, we cannot use, in statistics we have what we call, is it central tendency, we have the mean, is it measure of dispersion or what? Pardon me, I can't remember my statistics class at the moment, but we have the mean, median, and mode, right? So in this particular case, we cannot use the mean of the colon to fill the missing values because of the outliers. So what we'll do the best thing to do in this case is to fill the missing values with the median. So most times when you have outliers in your data sets, it is not advisable to fill in the missing values with mean. So the best thing to do is to fill it in with the median. So how do we then fill it? To use the fill NA method. Okay, so because I want to fill this is the particular column I want to fill, which is the rest BPS. I'm just going to subset it and come in. Then I'm going to use dot fill NA method. So this fill NA method is basically what it means is few missing values, right? Just you're filling the values with NA, right? You're filling those values. And in this case, what you want to fill it with is the median of you're filling it with the median of the colon. So what you can do is just dot median. Yeah, I'm coming. Let me just check right here. I'm getting an error somewhere. Hmm. Okay. Permit me to just copy and paste it to avoid wasting so much of our time. I'm coming. Okay. So here. So what we've been able to do here is I've been able to fill the missing value in this rest BPS column with the median. I've been able to fill it with the median. So what I just did was basically I called the data frame colon, which is the colon I want to fill, then called the dot fill NA method on it and just imputed the median. And yeah, so basically that's it. And if you want to confirm if it has actually worked, so what you can just do is use your assert function and check if it passes the assert function, then it means that it has been filled, right? So dot is no dot sum is equal to 0. Okay, so my assert function passed. So obviously, what it means basically is that this particular future trace BPS does not have any missing values anymore, right? And Amna,
Yes, Aramide.
hello. Yeah, please, when my time is up, just let me know so I can start wrapping up. Okay. Is that fine?
Please repeat again.
I said once my time is up, just let me know so I can start wrapping up. Okay.
Yes, I was just about to say that how much long do you anticipate that your explanation will last? Because I don't want that the audience attention get loose.
Oh, okay. So basically I just I think in the next 5 minutes or so I should be done. And if they are in need of my notebook, I can just share the notebook across as well after the section. Is that fine?
Oh, yeah, it's fine. And yes, you can continue your event for the next 5 minutes because after that, we'll be having a quiz. So please stay with us, everyone.
Okay, so thank you so much, Amna. Okay, so basically for numerical features, when you want to handle the missing values, just ensure the first thing you need to do is visualize it. And when you see that you have outliers, and in cases where you don't have outliers, instead of median, you can use mean to fill the um missing values. So I'm going to be let me check if we have outliers in I said outliers, missing values in categorical features. So we can just undo that, and we end the data cleaning section for today. So if you have any question, you can just let me know. Okay. So as you can see that the rest BPS that we just filled has been turned to zero, meaning that it does not have any missing value anymore. Just like I said, the assert fraction as certified has shown that since it has passed the assert fraction, it means that it does not have any missing value anymore. So let me just check the one that has let me check the one that has a missing value and its object. Okay, so I have exam here. It is a this is a categorical data set, and one way I can handle my categorical data set is by filling it with the mode, right? So in this case, I can just copy and paste here and just turn this to right. So instead of median, the method I'm going to call will be the dot mode method, right? Because I'm dealing with a categorical feature. So yeah, and to show that, to confirm if it has worked, I can still also run the assert function here. And sorry. Okay, so it's telling me my okay, yeah, I know what is wrong, yeah. So I was supposed to subset it and call 0. Um, yeah. So the thing is, let me show you what happened here so that you understand what happened just now. So if you just call the dot smooth function on this, you're going to get it in form of the ID and this particular false. You know, the exam feature is an object data type, but it is in form of boolean false and true. So for me, because I need it to replace it with just this false and not 0 and false. So I have to index it and call the 0, which is we know that indexing starts from 0 in Python. So I'm going to be indexing it to call just the false, and that's why I use the index 0. So in this case, it's just going to give me false, and that's why I indexed it with 0 here. And so that's how you fill, and this is for categorical features. So most times when you want to fill your categorical features, you use your mode. But for your numerical features, you have to confirm, you have to first visualize to show that. Then I wanted to show us something as well, how you can visualize your missing values in by using how you can visualize your missing values by using sns.itsmap. So it's another way you can visualize the columns that has missing values with the aid of visualization. So in this case, I'm just going to call my data frame dot is no dot. I don't know. Do I need to put the sum? Okay, I don't think I have to put it. Okay, so I also like visualizing my missing values this way by using an heat map. So you see that the columns that does not have any stripe or anything are the ones that does not have missing columns, but the one that has stripes here are the ones with missing values, right? And if you notice that because we filled some of the columns here we filled some of the columns here such as the resting BPS, you see that it does not have any stripes anymore because we filled the missing values. So actually, I have a lot of things to explain, but because of my time, I'm going to be ending this section. So if you need the notebook that I've prepared for the section, you can just reach. It will be sent the set after the event, so you can go through it. And if you have any question, and you can just ask. So thank you so much, everyone. I don't know if you have any question. That will be the end of my hands-on section for today. So any question?
Okay, so any question, guys?
I can stop sharing my screen, right, Amna?
Yes, you may.
All right, thank you.
Okay, so thank you so much, everyone, for your time and patience, and especially Aramide for all the insights that you have shared with us. And I truly hope that you people must have enjoyed and learned from today's event. So now it's time for Kahoot, and you must all be waiting for it since the beginning. So without further delay, let's start. Let me share my screen. Is my screen visible?
Yes,
Yes.
it is. I can see your screen.
Okay, okay, thank you. So I'm going to start the game now. Everyone, please search Kahoot on Google and join the game via pin. Let it load. So here's the pin 9282867. Kindly join the game so we can start. The MCQs are a little tough, but I hope that you all will be able to answer. The pin is 9282867. We'll wait for 2 to 3 minutes so that everyone can join the game, and then we'll start. We have Baruch, Elizabeth, Emirano, Zaim, Mariam, Dishe, Dami, Enigma. We'll wait for a few more participants to join. Okay, we will wait for 1 or 2 minutes now. One more minute. I think we should start now. Those who want to join have joined, so let's start. So the first question is, what is the primary goal of data cleaning? A. Increase data complexity. B. Enhance data visualization. C. Enhance data security, accuracy and consistency. And D. Reduce data volume. So it's Lizzie on top. So which of the following is not a common data cleaning task? A. Removing duplicate records. B. Imputing missing values. C. Generating synthetic data. And D. Standardizing data formats. Question number 3. Which method is commonly used to handle missing data? A. Deleting rows with missing values. B. Replacing missing values with zeros. C. Imputing missing values based on mean or median. And D. Ignoring missing values during analysis. Okay. We have Lizzie again on top. What is the purpose of data validation during data cleaning? A. To ensure data accuracy and consistency. B. To increase data complexity. C. To generate synthetic data. And D. to reduce data volume. Okay, so Lizzie is still on top. She's leading the pack. Okay, so the next question is, what is the role of exploratory data analysis in data cleaning? A, to visualize patterns and relationships in the data. B, to generate synthetic data. C, to remove outliers. And D, to standardize data formats. The next question is, what is the main purpose of data cleaning in data science? A, to make the data look visually appealing. B, to improve the accuracy and reliability of analysis. C, to compress the data into a smaller size. Or D, to remove all personal information. Okay, so now it's Enigma on top, and on second, it's Lizzie. Well done, guys. Now, the next question is, you notice several rows in your data set having missing values. What is the best way to handle them? A, leave them as it is, they won't affect the analysis. B, delete the entire row containing the missing value. C, fill them in with the average value of the column. Or D, replace them with a special symbol like NA. Okay, so it's same now. The next is, which of these is not a common type of data inconsistency? A, inconsistent data formats. B, misspellings or typos in data, text data. C, missing values. Or D, outliers. So it's anyone's game at this point now. So we have Lizzie again on top, and holding second position is Maruch. The second last question is, when transforming numerical data, what does normalization mean? A, converting all values to percentages. B, adjusting values to a specific range. C, grouping similar values into categories. Or D, converting text data into numerical values. Okay, so it's Lizzie on top. So the last question. Which technique is commonly used to address multi-collinearity in feature selection? A, dropping features with low variance. B, using correlation analysis to remove correlated features. C, generating synthetic data. Or D, adding more features to the dataset. Okay, so at third position, we have Enigma. On second, we have Maruch. And on first, it's definitely Lizzie. So congratulations, everyone. Please drop your email address in the chat box so we can send you the LinkedIn premium vouchers when we get it from Microsoft. Okay, so everyone, how was the game? Did you enjoy? Aramide, what are your views about it?
Yeah, it was nice. I enjoyed it. Thank you. But then there is someone said something on the chat. Have you seen it? Maruk, she said she would like to pass the incentive. She said she would like to pass the incentive to the next person.
Okay, because she already have one. I know her. She is now leading a study group in AI
Have you seen
900,
it?
and yes, I have seen the message, and I'm just telling
Yeah, the
about her
message.
that she's leading AI 900 study group, and currently I am her student. So Maruk, I will definitely pass the incentive to the next person, and I'm looking forward to get uh the study voucher from you. Okay, it's a deal.
Of course, make sure to be an active participant so it's fair and square.
Yes, I am. I have attended your first two sessions, and I'm looking forward to the third one that will be tomorrow, inshallah.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Okay, so that was all from today's event. I hope you people have learned and enjoyed the session. Thank you so much, everyone. And Lizzie, and who was at third? I think she was Enigma. Lizzie and Enigma, please send your email address in the chat box so we can share the LinkedIn Premium vouchers with you. Okay, so that was all. Aramide, you want to say anything?
Yes, thank you so much, Amna. Okay, I would just like to say a big thank you to everyone for joining this section today. I hope you were able to learn one or two things. I'm sorry we had a very short time. I could not go through the entire thing I prepared. But if you would like to have access to the notebook, you can just reach out to me after the section. Um, I will definitely share the notebook across and also the presentation slides if you would like to use Jupyter Notebook on VS Code. So yeah, thank you so much for joining.
Okay, thank you so much, Aramide. And thank you so much, everyone, all my fellows from Pakistan as well as from Nigeria. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining today's session. I really appreciate your time and patience. So, Allah Hafiz and take care from everyone. You all may leave the session.
Hi Hamna, can I stop the recording now?
Yes, Aramide, you can stop the recording. You have done very well, and thank you so much for all the insights you shared.